A win and the Mountaineers are in the BCS national title game, but it's called the Backyard Brawl for a reason. West Virginia can't look past Pittsburgh just yet. Hey, how are you folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you on a Toyota College Football Preview. It's the 100th edition of the rivalry, 10-1 West Virginia. They've already locked up the Big East in a spot in the BCS, but a win against 4-7 Pittsburgh, and it's a guaranteed spot in New Orleans with a shot at the national title. And with more, we bring in Spencer Tillman from Houston, as we do every week. And Spence, West Virginia's door opened when Kansas and LSU lost last week, really even further back than that because they were 9th when the first BCS poll came out in October, but they lost early. That's why they were 9th. In your opinion, the way this team is playing now, is West Virginia the second best, maybe even the best team in the country?
They're pretty good, Jason. They're pretty good, but I think they're probably a quad of four two-loss teams that probably would fit that bill. You got LSU, Oklahoma's out there, Georgia's out there. Those are some pretty good teams that are also peaking at this point in time. But I can tell you this much, they certainly are trying to make a statement with the 66 points they scored last week in the big-time win.
Oh, they certainly are, and Pat White was a huge part of that. Ran for a season-high 186 yards, 2 scores, threw another touchdown. But he seems to save his best for Pittsburgh. The junior in the 2 games that he's played against the Panthers so far, 440 yards rushing. Remember, he's a quarterback. He's also accounted for 7 touchdowns. This Pittsburgh defense is not strong. Does White put on another show this week?
Oh, I think he will, and for obvious reasons. Obviously, they're trying to impress voters right now, and if they did it last week, they're certainly going to put out all stops. And believe me, this is a tandem that can do it. White and Slayton are pretty outstanding. You talk about Marion Barber, Lawrence Maroney, and a couple of other, McFadden and Felix Jones. They're in rare company because as a tandem, they have rushed for over 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. That's only happened 3 times in the NCAA's history. So those guys are pretty special, and you're going to see Pat do a fine job against Pittsburgh like he always has.
And I think if he hadn't gotten hurt earlier in the year, and especially in that South Florida game, we may say Pat White would be the front runner for the Heisman Trophy, but he's definitely putting on a show of late. As for Pittsburgh, Spence, last week's 48-37 loss to South Florida, it assured the Panthers of their 3rd straight losing season under Dave Wanstead. But at least he's getting some experience for freshman quarterback Pat Bostic. Is that a good thing in this game?
Yeah, it's a good thing, but you just pointed on the main fact there for me. This is 3 straight years that they've lost, and there's not a winning culture right now from a guy who had the pedigree as an NFL coach coming in. A lot of expectation. They don't really have a true home field advantage scenario to work with, so it's going to be an uphill battle. But you'd like to have a young, talented quarterback at the helm that you can nurture and bring up. And I suppose the worst-case scenario would to be a losing team with a senior on his way out and then have to start from scratch. So he's gifted, to be sure, but they need to get some wins.
Well, that was the case with Tyler Palko before. If Pitt has any hope in this game, freshman running back LaShawn McCoy has to have a big game. He scored 3 touchdowns last week to give him 14, which broke Tony Dorsett's school freshman record that he set back in 1973. He's also only 81 yards shy of the Big East freshman mark set by Rutgers' Terrell Willis. So, he is a fantastic talent at Pittsburgh, and we'll see him for a couple of years, but it may be too much for him to overcome. Spence, it seems like a mismatch. Everything on the line for West Virginia. It's only pride on the line for Pittsburgh. And, it does always seem to mean something. We saw UCLA stop USC last year from the title game in this very same spot. Give me a percentage that Pitt may pull off this upset.
1%. Again, I'm being honest. We're being joking about this, but I think that the fact, if you're a coach and you're Dave Wanstead, you're looking for a couple of motivating factors. Number one, it's rare that they have an opportunity to play a number 1 ranked team or a team ranked as high as they are, or 2. And also the fact of sheer human pride. And that every player that plays this game, that's why you do it. You play it for the joy of it and for the passion. But outside of that, I don't see there's any way possible they come away with the win in this one. West Virginia should put up another week of style points, big time.
If they could get a sloppy field and do the rain dance, you never know how many fumbles Pittsburgh can throw out, or West Virginia can throw out there. Spence, we'll watch it Saturday night. We'll see how it all unfolds. Thank you, sir.
All right, Jason, we'll see you.
Folks, with that loss predicted by Spencer, pretty much everyone else, the Panthers would have their first 8-loss season in 9 years, while West Virginia, as we mentioned, would enjoy its trip to the national title game. Backyard Brawl kicks off at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Saturday night. For more on this game or any other here in this, the last week of the regular season, stay with CBSSports.com and watch everything else all over the CBS Audience Network. For Spencer Tillman, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.